Good morning, everyone. Well, we have a winter storm that is on the way. It looks like it's going to get pretty interesting. We're going to go over some of the model data. I know that there's some people worried about dry slots and warm air and all that good stuff. So we'll go over some of the model data. We're not going to do the 7-day forecast, though, today. We're just going to do a general overview of what to expect with this storm and how it's going to evolve, and then we'll go from there. And let the fun begin, right? Okay, so here we have the latest observations. Based on everything I'm seeing here, is pretty much in line with what I've been expecting. You're starting to see the winds already starting to curl here to the northeast. Now, right now, they're from the east from many locations because the primary low pressure system still way back off to our west. So we have plenty of cold air in place. You have temperatures in the single digits to lower teens over the far northern interior, and that's going to be important because this is where our cold source is going to come from as these winds start to back to the north and the northeast, drawing low-level cold air into the region. Otherwise, temperatures range from the lower to mid-20s over central New Jersey and around the Philadelphia metro, upper 20s to lower 30s. We're starting to see snow break out around the Delmarva Peninsula in southeastern Pennsylvania, pretty much as expected. And based on some of the observations, it looks like snow is accumulating at a pretty steady pace already. So here's our surface map, right? Let's refresh this. Get the latest data here. And there's our primary low. This is a weak secondary low, but this won't be the main event. What you're going to see here is that this low pressure system is going to track to around Ohio, and then this low pressure system will fade away, and a new one's going to start to develop right around here. Okay, and when that starts to develop, you'll know because the winds are going to start to back to the northwest already. On the radar here, pretty much everything is setting up. Now, this part of the precipitation shield is based on this storm, okay? This is going to slide east, and then we're going to see a redevelopment of the precipitation shield. This is based on the fact that you're getting a new storm developing. This is the old storm. This is the old primary low pressure system. So you can see this whole process taking shape here on the water vapor satellite picture. Here's our old upper level low. Here is the subtropical jet stream. Here's a polar jet stream setting up the block. And so this low, because of this block, cannot go any further north and east. It has to redevelop and jump to the coast. So what we're going to see is that this 500 millibar low start to lose its organization and its cohesiveness, and it's going to redevelop towards the Delmarva Peninsula. Again, that was the whole basis of waiting on this forecast, is looking for the evolution of this upper level low and how that all sets up, which I have very strong confidence in. And so this is from the spc.noaa.gov. It is the mesoscale analysis. This part right here is what we call 850 millibar frontogenesis. Basically, it's lifting because warm air is pushing northward. So this warm air is going to try and continue to push northward, producing this lifting. And so that's going to be our first wave of snow, and that's also what's going to introduce the potential for mixing setting up around southern New Jersey and parts of the Philadelphia metro. But as this upper level low jumps to the coast, you're going to see this start to collapse, and then the storm redevelop, and then what you get is then that's the influence from the strong 850 millibar jet streak, which I'll show again in a minute, and also the deformation zone, the stretching of the atmosphere, the strong 500 millibar PVA, which again is lifting in the atmosphere. A new storm is born. So that is essentially what we're seeing right now. The first storm making its way east. Here's your lifting on the east side. And as a result, what you'll see here is that this storm is going to start to fade away, and you're going to start to see these cold cloud tops start to develop and expand, and you're going to start to see a lot of blues, greens, yellows, and oranges start to show up right over the northern mid-Atlantic as we move on through tomorrow morning into tomorrow afternoon. So late tomorrow morning, you're going to start to see the precipitation shield break up. And of course, you're going to see everyone on social media say, oh my God, storm bust, it's going to be the end of the world, we're not going to see any snow. And then boom, the low pressure system takes over and we start to see the evolution once again of our secondary storm. Happens every time. Textbook with Miller B storms. So is the social media response every time. So let me just show you some of the model guidance here. This is the 700 millibar low on the European guidance, okay? And what I want to show here is the evolution of this first part, okay? This is the strong frontogenesis I was talking about. Then as the storm jumps to the coast, you see this bagginess here? This tells us the models, all of the models, are trying to figure out where does the 700 millibar low set up. And so as this develops, our lifting collapses, okay, because there's no more focus on the lifting parameters. So when you have that collapse, you get the precipitation shields start to break up, all right? And with that breakup, you start to see a lot of dry air showing up on the radar, okay? But that's not a true dry slot. What the true dry slot is to the south and east of this upper level low. So let me show you that dry air. Let's see if we can pull up the relative humidity so that we can get a better idea of the dry air evolution, right? So this is what you're seeing in the model guidance when you're seeing the precipitation breakup, okay? You're seeing this process take hold. Now, this is going to slide east, okay? This isn't shut down the whole precipitation event. What this is the lull between the old storm and the new storm taking over. So by the time you get 6 hours later, this whole process is starting to take over and your precipitation shield starts to redevelop, and then you get your pivot heading out. So that's essentially what we're seeing here. This storm is pretty much evolving as expected. And the one thing that's key, the only reason why I would ever change this forecast at this point is if this disappeared from the guidance. This is the 850 millibar jet streak here. This sets up that strong, heavy snowfall and the intense lifting. Okay, so if I started to see this focused up towards Maine, or it didn't develop at all, or if it was much weaker, then I'd be like, uh-oh, I'm going to have to make some adjustments here. Nothing here has changed at all in any way, shape, or form. What's happening with the mesoscale models is that they're trying to figure out where the strongest bands are going to set up, and so they're producing all these different features in terms of convective lifting. You're getting a lot of convective feedback. You're getting sinking air, which is becoming enhanced because they're strong lifting. That's why some locations are showing up with 30 inches of snow in the model guidance, and other areas 6 inches. Could that happen? Absolutely. But am I going to try to be too perfect with this storm and try to nail down every aspect with this type of jet streak showing up in every single model guidance? No way. Guys, let me zoom out here. These winds are showing up in this level here. That's 80 knots. Those winds get mixed down to the surface, and it looks like they will. It's going to cause some problems here. So, again, based on everything I'm seeing here, forecast stands. No reason to change it. No reason to try to be too perfect and try to nail every location. When you do that, you just end up with a lot more confusion, and you end up with a bad forecast because everyone's trying to figure out, well, which forecast is the right one, right? So again, all the zones pretty much have not changed. I'm looking at this area right here. Notice how I have it aligned very much similar to how these winds are aligned. That's basically how I set up the forecast. Found that 850 millibar jet streak. Okay, this is your best potential for these intense bands, and we go from there. So we're going to continue to keep an eye on this storm. Again, live coverage, live premium coverage starts at 5 p.m. and we'll just keep on going until I get tired, maybe take a break, and then we'll start back again tomorrow morning. The normal discussions and updates I normally do every day will be suspended as the storm evolves to take over for live coverage. And then we'll go from there. And we'll see how everything takes shape. But that's pretty much all I got. We'll see how everything goes. We'll see the snow starting in earnest by 6 p.m. and then continuing on through tonight. Watch out for your mixing down in zone 5 and 6. That's basically southern New Jersey and parts of central New Jersey, especially around Ocean County. In this area, zone 4, you'll get snow mixing with sleet at times. That's how I'm seeing this all set up. And then mostly snow in zone 3 and zone 7. But again, you might see some sleet from time to time via rising and sinking air. Have a good day, and we'll continue to keep an eye on this storm.